Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode 17 of Thought of the Walk. And today I wanted to talk about incremental progress. What's that? It's it's about taking one step at a time. An example of that is I've been wanting to get these 3-4 mile walks in every day, right? And sometimes it's really hard to do that because I get really busy and then it's the end of the day and boom, by the way, I can't see without my glasses on. Boom, I didn't get it in, it's dark. But if I just take one step, I start getting there. And part of why I started doing the thoughts of the walk was because I have to take a walk to do them. I'm supposed to be on a walk right now, but I'm standing. And the reason I'm standing is I wanted to talk about another kind of incremental steps forward. Let's see if can I make that go boop? Nope. Okay. It'd be really cool if I could make my camera on my phone go both ways, and for some reason mine doesn't do that, but other people's do. And I can't speak English today either. So I hear a lot of people wanting to go off grid. That right there, what I'm showing you, is a solar water heater. People who are already on grid, who want to go off grid, you can take steps rather than having to go down the path of planting a giant solar array, which a lot of people do. And you can look at where do you use energy and then do one thing at a time. And I started this process with a guy named Sean Mills from Hack My Solar. He came to my house and did an energy audit. And what he's looking for is like, how well insulated are you? Could you switch your windows out? Is there a place where you're using lots of power that we could just take that one thing off grid and it'll save you a bunch? What are your personal goals with going off grid? Those sorts of things. And after talking to me, one of the things he recommended was this solar water heater. And the way it works, it's not super pretty, it can be made to look pretty, is there is a small pump that circulates water from a tanked water heater to this roof one. And that is painted black and insulated. And when the sun comes out, it hits the pipe. There's copper pipe coils in that box. And the water circulates through it, and then it circulates back to this 55-gallon or 50-gallon tanked water heater inside, which is well insulated. And it heats the water. From there, when I want hot water, if I turn the hot water tap on, it goes to an on-demand water heater, so that if it's below 120 degrees, it'll heat it to 120 degrees, and then my water's hot all the time. So that's convenient for me. But one of the things it does is makes it so I don't need to use as much propane in my day-to-day, your life. In the wintertime, because that thing I just showed you on the roof, it can't freeze. Well, it can. It'll get ruined if it freezes, right? It drains. So I can drain it, and then basically I have hot water in the summer and spring and into the fall, and then for the winter I don't have hot water from the sun, I have hot water from the propane. And in this way, for almost 3/4 of the year in Tennessee, with the way our climate works, I have hot water that I am not paying for. And the only other step I had to take was to change my own habits. So it started with the first step, which was that water heater. Getting it installed, getting it set up. That took longer than one would expect, but it didn't cost that. I mean, it's probably, $300. It's not cheap. It's not cheap, but it's saving me way more than that in just a few years, because I heat water with propane here. I'm out in the country, and because I'm out in the country, I don't have an electric one. I have a propane service that delivers propane. I've already saved 60 gallons of propane times $2.87 per gallon. That was last year when it was not hooked up for the whole year. So that starts adding up quick and paying for the parts. And that was the other part of the analysis that I did with Sean. Take the one step, get the water heater, and then assess, right? That's totally a spider on my nose, by the way. Just walked through a spider web. And it's been kind of fun to build this into my life, but also it's great to have a way that if I ran out of propane, I'd still get hot water. And this is where the habits come in. If I take my bath or shower, I do my laundry, and I run the dishwasher between the hours of about 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. here when we're having a sunny day, my propane heater, like the on-demand one that tops it to 120, doesn't even turn on. And I know that because I can listen to it and I can hear it. If I turn hot water on, I can hear it turn on. It doesn't. And that's because the water's above 120 then. So what I've started doing now is I've completely reorganized my day. That was the second step I took. First step was get the water heater in and learn how to use it. Second step, notice that it doesn't kick on during these hours if it's hot outside. And then the third step, or the second plus one step, was change my habits of when I do laundry. Instead of nighttime, do it midday. It's lunch, start the laundry. Do a load, wait an hour or two for the water to heat up again, do the laundry again. And in this way, I'm slowly working towards my personal goal of peeling things off grid. And that's not like a survival, I need to be off grid sort of thing. It's reducing how much my life costs. Tap into the resources around me and use them. And one of the biggest resources around me in Tennessee is my south facing house and the sun. One of these days, yep, solar panels are going to go on there, but that's a pretty expensive investment. You know, by the time I've spent anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 on installing a solar array and some batteries, how much does it really save me? It saves me, you know, it's not bad. It's going to save me $1,200 a year probably on average, and that pays for itself in 10 years, right? If I have a $10,000 plus dollar system. But the water heater pays for itself in like 2 or 3 years. And that's why you start with that first little step, just like I'm starting with my morning walk with my dogs. So think about that next time you have a challenge in your life that's really big. This weekend we processed, I think, a total of 60 or 70 chickens. And it's because a friend brought his chickens and we had 30 chickens. And it took us 2 days. Here's how we approached the last day. Because Sunday, we had an open house on Saturday. Sunday, we were really tired. And we got up. And I said, we're doing 12 chickens. Tactics said, okay, 12 chickens. Sounds good. So we did 12 chickens. Took an hour and a half to do 12 chickens. And then I said, we're having a cup of coffee. And then we can do that second 12 chickens. We'll only have like 6 chickens left. And he said, yeah, I think I got enough energy to do that. We did it that way because we could make the 12 chicken step forward and then do another 12 the next day if we were too tired or wanted to do other priorities. Well, here's what happened. We start the second 12 chickens. Somebody shows up to help who knew we were doing it. And so I was like, you know what? We can do the last chickens. So we did all of them. That third person came in. We got all our chickens done in one day. And it was simply by starting, taking that first little step, then being willing to take the second step. Then we got that breath of fresh air and somebody coming to help. Third step, chickens done. Speaking of which, anybody wants pasture raised, non-GMO, soy-free birds, I have about 10 for sale. We're going to sell about 10 of those. If you're interested, hit me up, Nicole at livingfreeintennessee.com. Hope you enjoyed today's Thought of the Walk. Make it a great week.